Sword Art Online doesn't even make sense. I mean, it's online, yeah, but there's sword art. Like, I always thought it was when I saw the dojins of Sword Art Online, I thought, how do you fuck a sword? Like, why did the people draw sword art? And obviously it's online, it's on dojinmoe.com. Like, what, why do you call it online? Why do you... And it's art, yeah, but the sword? I don't get it. And I didn't get it. And then I heard that there was an anime called Sword Art Online. I was like, oh, it's inspired by it's characters from the anime called Sword Art Online. And I just kept thinking, like, what a stupid name for a thing to be Sword Art Online. I mean, what could it be about? Could it be about an artist? Oh, wait. Oh, sword art, like the art of sword swinging. Couldn't you call it, like, Blade fucking guy, Blade Nigger 2, Blade Nigger attacks them, you know? I mean, he wears black. Welcome to the first in a 48-part series on why Sword Art Online sucks. Oh, here's part 1. The everything. Part 1. Everything sucks. There's a guy, and there's a girl, and there's a boy, and there's a girl, and there's a woman, and there's a boy, and there's a guy, and then they're all homosexuals. Ooh! Nothing wrong with homosexuals, but, I hate them. Yes. Just a lot of all that stuff and Sword Art Online. And would you fetch me my tin crumpets, Jasper? Jasper? Yes, thank you. I just love a tin crumpets when I'm being on a podcast. Oh, I'm drowning in tea crumpets. I'm drowning. That's enough tea and crumpets. And back to the review. Part 2, Sword Art Online's not good. Part 3. No. No more. This ends now. I've never seen Sword Art Online. I've never seen Attack on Titan. I've never seen Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. I always thought Full Metal Panic was part of that series, and I got confused. I'm like, which do I watch first, Full Metal Alchemist or Full Metal Panic? I hate things that have things that aren't numbered, but it wasn't even part of the same fucking show. I mean, you act like you're supposed to be liking anime. Well, it's hard, okay? It's all confusing, it's dumb, and I don't get it. I mean, Crunchyroll doesn't even work. I go there, and I'm looking at it, and I'm like, typing in fucking... I don't know what I'm looking for. How'd you get into new things? How do you get to a point in your life where you're looking at new anime? What are you, fucking gay? Just stick with what you know. I watched so much Naruto, and then Naruto Shippuden, and fucking it was alright, but I couldn't bring myself to do anything else. And I wonder why that is. You know, you see a new thing, you're like, you know, when you're a little boy, and you're on anime stream, I don't fucking know, lovelyanimeplace.com, and you see the top ones, you see Naruto, you see One Piece and Bleach, and you're like, oh, people at school talk about Naruto and reel each, and you watch them. Asshole! But you don't realize that it's fun. But you do it because you want to fit in. I remember one guy saying, "Do you even know Naruto?" Like I was pretending I did, because I'm one of those, you know, I just one of those moments where you just say something. And he said, "Do you even know Naruto? Do you know Shikamaru?" And I'm like, do you even know Zabuza? I'm like, "Do you even know Itachi?" I'm like, I guess I don't know that. I'm sorry, I'm very sorry. I don't know that, dude. I guess I don't know it at all. And then they killed me. They stuffed me in a bunch of trash, a bunch of rubbish, a carcass. I was. What a carcass I was, as they rolled me down the hill in a trash bin. And I thought to myself, well, I really need to impress those guys, so I watched Naruto. I wanna rocks. Woo, woo, many rocks. Woo, woo. What does he want to do with them? I wanna rocks. I'm a Japanese man. What does he want to do with the rocks? I wanna rocks. You want 2 rock, or you want 2 rocks? Oh, many rocks. All the way. Down, 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 down. You may have realized that this is stupid, and it's deliberately so. See, if I say it's deliberate, then it's okay. I don't appreciate your time, and which is why I'm spending it doing nothing. This is going on the Procrastinators channel. It's a podcast now. It's suddenly now a podcast. The Gibbon Show, where nothing is quite right. And now that I'm doing a show, it's time to fill the air. Oh, I need to fill my lungs with air. Oh, delicious air. Doesn't it feel great to just take a big whiff of air, even though you don't need it? It sounds funny, too. It sounds funny. Hey, let's look at my DS. Let's do an impromptu game review of whatever I have on my DS. Oh, it's Pokemon Moon. Alright. Here's a sneak peek of my Game of the Year video. In fact, this is my Game of the Year video. I'm gonna slip this bit out of... I'm gonna put this bit out of this video and put it into my video because I don't like you. Alright. I wrote down some notes on Pokemon Moon. Let's go to my notes. Where is it? Oh yeah. Pokemon Moon. Pokemon Moon is fine. The main point I have, it's as good for a Pokemon game, which means it has the staples. Cool Pokemon, uncool Pokemon, battling, catching, bad guy gang, routes, towns, poker centers, boring characters and townspeople, status effects, Zubat, and others. But it's slightly better than the normal staples, because they have interesting characters. They got the Edgelord, and a goofy troop of Loopy Dukes, and their Loopy King, and the Insane Woman, who I can imagine is actually very scary to young children, so that's good, you know. It's always nice to know that children are scared. Then there's the Punching Bag, and the Professor, who's not a nerd, and the girl, and Popcorn. And that's it. That's my Pokemon Moon review. You know, if I had a beer bottle, I would jangle it, just to give you the illusion that I was drinking. But I don't have a beer bottle. I do have these things of cards I keep dropping on the table. That's what the cards were. That's what that was. I'm not even starting to begin to make, like, a good video podcast, but you're still here, I guess. Hey, you ever know these sunglasses that I have? Here's what they sound like. They're sunglasses, they're very plasticky, they're very plasticky. And that's it. That's my sunglasses ASMR. section of the video. Now we gotta have. Oh, look! Listen to this. Listen to this shit. All right. In my hand is a special button. It is a button that will tell me and you that we are a badass, and it will give us confidence. And this is a real thing, and I'm about to press it. Here we go.
Do what you love.
Do what we love. Alright. What else do you want? What else wisdoms do you have?
You create your reality.
Alright.
Feed fear a suck-it sandwich.
Sandwich.
You are a badass.
I've never been so insulted in all my life. I know my mum didn't give this to me because she thinks I'm insecure. She just had it. I mean, she says that, but she's given me, like, self-help books before because she thinks I'm still as depressed as I was when I was 17, which isn't true. How fucking patronizing can you fucking be?
You can do it!
It's unbelievable. 0 out of 10 on product. It came with this book. You Are a Badass mini book. And it's not a joke. This is... Oh my god. I was about to say this is as sincere and patronizing as it can possibly be. The guy who wrote it is called Jen Sincero. S-I-N-C-E-R-O. Jen Sincero. Okay, maybe it is a joke. How could it be not a joke? Jen Sincero. I'm assuming you're reading this, because you're reading this, that there are some areas of your life that aren't looking so great, and that you know you could be looking a whole lot better. This book is about getting mighty clear about what makes you happy and what makes you feel the most alive, and then creating it instead of pretending you can't have it, or that you don't deserve it, or that you're a greedy, egomaniacal fathead for wanting more than you already have. I guess it is a joke. I mean, maybe it's like... I assumed that it was like... talking like, oh, we're a self-help book, and we're, you know, you're not that bad, you're great, you know, but... And it is saying that. It's the whole book about, like, number 1, appreciate how special you are. Number 2, drown yourself in affirmations. Number 3, ditch the self-deprecating humor. This is the sort of stuff... Oh, let the love in. Forgive yourself. Don't compare yourself to others. I guess, no, this is very sincere. Love yourself. It's a sincere self-help you book written by someone with a bit of self-awareness, but not enough. Like that they can say, stop calling yourself an egomaniacal fathead. Because you're beautiful. I'm so mad at how fucking stupid this is.
Do what you love.
No! Well, I will, but shut up! I don't want to do it because you told me to, you fucking idiot.
You create your reality.
You create your reality. What does it say?
Feed fear a suck-it sandwich.
Yeah, suck it. Sandwich. Sandwich. Fucking... Oh! Oh! Unacceptable! That was terrible. Sorry for that. Sorry for that lemon. I can't do lemon. How to tap into the mother load. The G word. Hang on, what? Wherever you happen to stand on the God issue, let me just say that this whole improving your life thing is going to be a lot easier if you have an open mind about it. Call it whatever you want. God, Goddess, the big guy, the universe, source energy, higher power, the grand poobah, gut, intuition, spirit, the force, the zone, the force, fuck off. The zone, the Lord, the vortex, the mother lode, it doesn't matter. Whatever you choose to call it isn't important. What is important is that you start to develop an awareness of and a relationship with the source energy that's surrounding you, and with you and within you, which is all the same energy, and which gives you the best pal ever if you give it a chance. Because here's the thing, all of us are connected to the limitless power, and some of us aren't being fucking hippies. Oh, meditation. 101 basic meditation, sit in a comfort. Fuck you. You make me feel. You make me feel. You make me feel like an actual retard. Oh, love yourself. Surround yourself with people who This is like a training guide for fucking sheltered social justice warrior people. Like, I'm reading this one thing, it just gives me that idea that people who turn to this weird way of thinking are usually very self-conscious. Surround yourself with people who think the way you want to think. That's a thing they say. You've got to surround yourself with like-minded people. Obviously, makes sense in theory, but like, you go too far with it, and you're in a fucking hug box. You're in a echo chamber. You're thinking about a lot of the same. Oh, I'm sorry I'm going on about this. It's just I don't feel any reason to keep this stupid
You are a badass.
button. So, and this book. So I'm reading it now just to get it out of my life. I don't ever want to return to it. Number 5, love yourself. You deserve it. I really am. I'm thinking it's got to be a joke. Really, what it is that I pressed this thinking it's gonna be like, whoa, cool, dude, you're a badass. Guitars and explosions, you know, something cringy, but something like, something harmlessly cringy, like, dude, whoa, radical, you're cool, yeah, bro. But it's just this, sort of sounding American lady saying sincere and very patronizing bullshit. How to get over your BS already. Procrastination and perfection. Procrastination is one of the most popular forms of self-sabotage because it's really easy. I mean, I get it, I agree, but I hate that you are saying it. I fucking hate you. I want you to die. Blah, blah, blah. Because it's not like I don't know how to stop procrastinating. It's that knowing it is not half the battle. Knowing it is like 1% of the battle. Doing it is the hardest part, and it's the entire part. How to kick some ass. I really want to burn this book. It's worth it. It annoys me, like... What annoys me the most is that the idea that somebody would buy this for somebody and somebody would actually have a use for it. Like, they would press the button and feel better. Like, that is the saddest thing I could possibly imagine.
You can do it!
Like, if you need that in your life to get through, like, I can imagine someone on the brink of suicide, and there's someone like, oh, he's depressed, I should get him this, and he presses it once.
Do what you love.
And he just... like, it's just... oh. I would commit suicide after hearing that. After hearing this button being pressed, I would just crumple in a heap. I'm like, oh, it's not worth it anymore. No. No. Oh. That was my OC dog. I don't know. He's a furry. He's gay. He's a gay furry. So, when it comes to, like, podcasts and stuff, usually I have a topic and a theme, or a topic and a theme, and, like, a thing of consciousness, a stream of consciousness, which is what this is. This is a stream of consciousness, and it doesn't have any guests, and this is a one-time podcast. It will never happen again, ever. I'll never make another video. I'll never make a podcast. I will never make another podcast because I have integrity. I don't want anyone to know that I did this, which is why I'm putting it on the internet. For the cheap laugh and a cock in my buttock. Just one, though. I'm just looking at things on my desk, seeing, like, what can I fucking talk about? I got a camera over here, I got a camera over there. I got a piece of paper. Oh boy, let's talk about a piece of paper. You know, guys, we got a piece of paper here. Let's hear it. That's not a piece of paper. That's a pad of paper. Yeah, you thought you had just listened to a piece of paper? You got a whole pad of paper here. It's a bunch of sticky notes. And that's that. I don't stick them anywhere, I just write on them. Sheesh. Well, you still here, you idiot? You dumb idiot. Can't believe you even in the background. Like, what you put this on in the background, you'd be like, haha, Gibbs talking, lol, Hippo's being a silly boy. And then you think it's buffering because, like, I had silence. Because you're not looking at it, you're like, oh, what happened? What was he saying? Did something happen? No. I just tricked you. You're fucking... I got you. I mean, part of me thinks, oh, this is awful, I'll never put this up. But part of me loves it. Part of me loves how terrible it is. Hey, look, we've got a Magic 8 Ball. Magic 8 Ball is something I associate with Vriska, but also with Toy Story. Because it's the thing that Woody shakes, and he's like, I fucking hate Buzz Lightyear, and it says, yeah, you do. Or something. And it's like integral to the fucking Buzz getting knocked out of the room, and it's... What a weird scene that is. Like, I always thought that it was really unnerving. Because it's a sunset, but it's like really harsh lighting and dark areas, and it's not really clear what time of day, like, it's not really clear what everyone's thinking. Like, everyone's sort of like, they're sleeping, they're toys. It's weird. It's a weird, like, at the very end of a sunset sort of lighting, but it's darker than that. And it's all about Woody conspiring with hatching a plan to get Buzz fucking lost. What a great movie. You know, I don't care what people say about, like, dated CG. 'Cause, like, CG... I like old CG games. You know, it's only dated in that they try to make realistic humans, and you can obviously make realistic humans a lot better now. But the toys, they all look perfect. Because they're toys. I mean, that's probably part of the reason why they made it in 3D. Like, oh, we've got this new technology, but how the fuck do we make a whole bunch of characters? It's gonna be a nightmare. It's like, oh, don't worry, just make them toys. Just make it so that you don't have to animate their body parts moving and breathing and all that shit. And it's like, perfect. We got it. Toy Story's great. What do I... Shrek. Shrek's a good movie. Shrek 2 is one of the greatest 3D animated movies. If you don't believe me, you think it's just a meme? Well, just remember that Billy Mays was a meme and he was fucking amazing. Michael Rosen's a meme, and everyone loves Michael Rosen. He's actually a very good children's entertainer. People make fun of what they like. You know? You don't see many YouTube poops with Pootie Pie in it. Maybe a couple to ride the thing. Ride the train of hype when he was, like, beginning to be a thing that people would search for. Like, you'd... Shrek's good. I don't know about the B-movie. The B-movie doesn't look good, but maybe it is. Shrek's a good... I mean, the third one was... you didn't need to make the third one, and the fourth one was kind of like, come on, you've done it, you've finished. Actually, the ending of the third one is pretty cool, but, like, I think the second one is really the peak. First one's pretty great, second one, the best. Kung Fu Panda as well. Kung Fu Panda movies, I don't know. Nate, for some reason, seems to think that DreamWorks is all shit. And I don't know why. I guess he just likes... He just has that opinion from some experience, and he's not willing to give any other DreamWorks movie the time of day. Like Madagascar 1, it's alright. You know, I don't know whether it's great, but they're all great children's movies, at least. But, like, Kung Fu Panda 1 and 3, I haven't seen 2. I should, because I've seen the ending of 2 and it looked great. But 1 and 3, they're really good movies. Like, such action. You know, I like Kung Fu Panda 3 more than The Force Awakens. Don't know what that says about me. I went to see both of them in the theaters, which is why I make that comparison. Because I don't go to see things in the theaters ever. Like this year, I don't think I went to see anything. What movies came out? Obviously, I haven't gone very recently. No, I haven't seen a single movie this year. Not one. Not a single movie that came out this year I have seen this year. That's one of the things I've noticed. Like, people are making of the year lists of things, like movies and albums and stuff, and I'm like, I'm just rediscovering, or rather discovering, stuff from when I was a kid, because that's what I like. I don't like new things. Not that I don't like new things, but like, new things often are uninteresting. Like games, like modern games. This is like a thing that people have said for a long time now, but it still holds true for me. Like, modern games do not interest me at all. If it's big budget, then it means it's a big no-no. On principle. Not on principle, actually, but... Well, yeah, on principle. If it costs a lot to buy, and it has a lot of DLC, and it's one of those pre-order bonus bullshit things, I will never purchase it. I will pirate it if I want to, but I will never purchase it if it has all that bullshit. If it's just a game that comes out, like The Witcher. I think I bought The Witcher 2, because I heard that it was a great game, made by a great company, and if my computer could run it without exploding, then I would have played it, but I don't purchase things that are bullshit. And so much of modern games is bullshit, and so much of the console scene is, like, gone. Like, all my favorite characters have been discontinued and replaced with white, boring people. That's right. That's right, I went there, they're white. You ever thought why Uncharted sucks? It's because it's not a black woman. With a dick and 3 genders that change depending on what hour you're playing the game. And it also changed the dialogue. Ooh, that's interesting. That's interesting. That's a stupid way to make an interesting mechanic that changes about stuff. Depending on what time of day you're playing the game, stuff is different. That's a cool concept. Too bad no one cares. But yeah, like Ratchet & Clank, Sly Cooper, Spyro, Crash, they sort of died before the end of the PS2 era, but like, you know, these characters, these colorful cartoon characters, they just got fucked in the butt. Ratchet and Clank continued for a bit, but Tools of Destruction was not interesting because it ended on a cliffhanger, and it suffered from what I like to call fuck you syndrome, where it's like, the first 3 Ratchet & Clank games, the first one was made and it was a complete game. That was it. You played it, that was the Ratchet & Clank 1. The sequel, same shit. You know? Even though they probably knew they were going to make Ratchet & Clank 3, they made Ratchet & Clank 2, and it was completely, perfectly its own thing. You could play 1 or 2, you didn't have to play both. And then you got Ratchet & Clank 3, which is the same sort of thing. It borrows elements from 1 and 2, but you can play it on its own. It is, from start to finish, a complete thing. Ratchet & Clank Tools of Destruction, the first game on the PS3, was a cliffhanger ending game, which means it wasn't a complete thing, which means they were planning to make another 3 games, and obviously once you plan to make another 3 of anything, the certain parts of, like, each individual thing becomes less. Like the Hobbit movies, you know, if they just thought, oh, let's make the Hobbit movie. I mean, when you're making, like, Lord of the Rings, each one is a whole book. Fair enough. The book has a beginning and an ending. But it will continue. But it's not like ending on a cliffhanger that's unsatisfying. So each film, similarly, does not end unsatisfyingly. Everything that happened in the book is satisfying that it completes itself, but it can still continue. And the way the Ratchet & Clank did it was like the way that they did it in the Star Wars prequels. Or The Hobbit. The Hobbit, not so bad, but it's pretty bad. Like, they had the dragon at the end of the second movie, but it didn't actually really happen until the third movie. You got to see him die at just the beginning of the third movie. And it's marketing. It's not actually a film that feels complete in itself. It feels like you have to watch all three at once, or at least the second and third at once. And it's just dumb. And the prequel trilogy of Star Wars, did I say it was Star Wars? I just said the prequel trilogy. The Star Wars prequel trilogy was like, the first movie was like introducing Anakin. The second movie was nothing at all. And then the third movie was like the actual important part. Like, they had 3 movies, and like 13% of all 3 movies put together was actually a movie that was important or interesting at all. And it's like, they're not satisfying for a lot of reasons, but like, there's the element that I find I'm referencing here is that they don't feel complete in and of themselves. Maybe the first one does. I'm not sure about that. I can't really remember. Like, they do kind of like at the end. It's like, yeah, the droids are dead. Hooray! It feels like the end of a New Hope. It could continue, but right now they won. The second movie is like, ugh. The point I'm getting at is that Ratchet and Clank died to me because the first PlayStation 3 game was a cliffhanger that was completely unsatisfying, and I didn't like the characters or the story that much, and I didn't like the extra mini content to do that much, and I was like, why the fuck would I buy the next games if this one wasn't good? And so I never did. I never bought the PS3 trilogy of Ratchet and Clank, and I'm sure a lot of other people felt the same, which is why the Ratchet and Clank is not the main thing. You know, if Insomniac had come up with a better idea than the fucking glowy blue red asshole Infamous guy, that, you know, that they would actually have a game series to talk about, to make a next gen thing. Like, if Infamous was not crap and boring and disgustingly shit and blue and red, then they might have stopped making Ratchet and Clank and made their own thing, like Naughty Dog did with Uncharted, which is alright. I don't like it more than Jak and Daxter, obviously, but I don't begrudge it too much. It's okay. You know, sometimes I feel like I should play all of them. I have them. It's like the PlayStation 2 thing, like everything that was cool about it, all the cool series that was started and ended, and then the PlayStation 3 comes out with my favorite game companies coming up with boring shit that I didn't care about at all. It just, and you know, there was no equivalence of my favorite games like Okami and Dark Cloud. And now I will say Dark Souls is probably like the best thing to come out on that sort of Demon Souls on the PS3, but then Dark Souls was on the PC, and I obviously would go there instead. Bloodborne I have on PS4, but Dark Souls 1, 2, and 3 are on PC, and I have them on there. But like, modern games aside from Dark Souls are boring, and I don't like them ever. I just don't like them. Every single time a thing comes up, it's like, whatever. Final Fantasy, I was never into it. You know? That's another thing. That's unrelated to modern games being shit. It's just like fan things coming back. Like Ghostbusters, never saw it. Final Fantasy, never played it. You know, remakes and I pressed the spacebar and I stopped recording. Reboots and remakes and stuff that's just... And, you know, Ocarina of Time on the 3DS, or Majora's Mask on 3DS, or... Like anything, any big thing that has come back in a, like a fan way, and people, like, making a big hubbub about it. That's never happened for anything that I like, ever. I cannot recall a time where something has been remade or rebooted that I was into. Aside from maybe Ratchet and Clank, which was a tie into a movie, but it was sort of... There was no fanfare around it. Nobody really cares. I think that's just the thing. Like, I'm in that generation that was a little after all the classics, like Mario and Zelda and Metroid, Nintendo things, and then you know, the PS1 games like Spyro and Crash Bandicoot and Conker's Bad Fur Day and Banjo-Kazooie and Super Mario 64 and Diddy Kong Racing and all those, you know, Ocarina of Time, everything that all the kids in the 90s were talking about, that's all coming back now. And the stuff that I'm into has yet to come back, and it will eventually, and all the people my age, my generation, who care about PS2 rather than PS1, they're all just not interested in anything because there's nothing that's appealing to them. And it's a shame, because it's like anything new that's coming out has so much fanfare about it. You think about like a new game comes out and then instantly there's porn of it. There's porn of it everywhere. You can just find every character in every situation possible. Porn everywhere. Everywhere you go. Anywhere you want. Any character. Pokemon Moon, like 5 seconds after it's released, there's porn of every character in the whole game. Undertale, porn of everyone, all the time. That's how I judge like the fan content, because I don't care about really anything else. But like when you think of like PS2 games, I'm not sure whether I would look at Ratchet and Clank porn actually, but supposing I did, there's not a lot of it. I don't think I've looked, but there probably isn't a lot. I have looked at Carmelita Fox. There's a bit of that, because she's a furry. But there's not a lot of it. Like, it's in that time where before... It came out before artists were making fan content of that, you know, about stuff. So it's before, you know, the internet, really, was becoming big. But it's too late after the classics. Because every time anybody wants a making a big art piece, they're like, oh, I'll draw fucking Samus. And everyone knows Samus, not only just because of Metroid, but also because of Smash Brothers and stuff like that. Like, you draw a character that was really old and has continued to be there. Or you draw art of characters that were, you know, just before. You know? Super Mario 64 stuff. Fan content of that. Like, there's mods of all that stuff. There's, like, crazy modding communities. You all know Pan and Koic, right? Those guys, him and his buddies, I don't really know what they're called again. The ABC crew. It just feels like... it's unfortunate, because, like, there's old stuff, and then there's new stuff, and then there's the stuff I'm into, and it's all ignored by the internet in general. And I am mad about it... to a certain degree. I don't really care too much about seeing porn of my games that I like. I only brought that up because I was thinking of Carmelita. Alright? You know, some furry porn's alright. It's just tits with fur on it. If you just forget the fur is there. They don't really draw it furry anyway. They just draw it colored. It's like there's a boob and it looks like a normal person's boob, but it's orange. Oh, okay. It's a rabbit boob, or a fox boob. They have a tail, but they otherwise are human. What am I saying?
You create your reality.
I sure do, idiot. Ugh. I just went on rants about things. The podcast never ends. And it will always remain directionless. It's the sort of thing you would put on in the background, but you need to listen if you're trying to figure out what I'm doing, saying, and such. Since I'm in a dour mood, let's talk about a dour topic. Videos. I don't wanna. I don't wanna do it. Videos suck. They're okay. But, you know, they suck! God damn it! I'm making a game of the year. What the date is today? The 28th? Alright, well, I can't do it. It's the end of the 28th. I've got to record me talking about Pokemon Moon and Dark Souls 3. I've already talked about Pokemon Go. Those are the games of the Game of the Year. I want to talk about all three of them in a Game of the Year video. And I got to do it all the 29th, and the 30th, and the 31st, I'm glad there's a 31st. Maybe I can do it, but, you know. And I don't want you to just say, oh, you can do it. Shut up. That's also patronizing. It's like coming up to a wheelchair guy and saying, don't worry, I still think you can walk. It's nothing like that. I know I can do it, you idiot. It's not like I really, really love you to say, I feel sympathy for you. If you're having trouble trying to do something, then whatever. Everyone is. I think it's a bit redundant to say, oh, you know what, dude, I know how you're feeling. I got stuff I want to do, and I'm trying to do it, and it's not working out so well, but you know what, you just gotta keep doing it, and that's what you gotta do. And I'm like, I get it, I know. Thanks. Thanks for trying to help, but you're really boring. You're really normal. You're really just wasting time. You know, the amount of time you spend trying to cheer others up could be better spent being a cool guy. Making your own things and then using that to entertain them. Just like what I'm doing. You know? I mean, sure, if you made a podcast about complete bullshit, nobody would listen to it if you didn't have a fan base already, like I do. I'm not saying make a stupid podcast. What I am saying is I'm an asshole who's telling you to not give me good feelings. Because
Feed fear a suck it sandwich.
Suck it, my dick. I put 2 slices of bread in between my penis. Wait, no, how do you do that? You do put your penis in between 2 slices of bread, and then the magic happens. Welcome to the close-up. Welcome to the close-up part of the show where I'm really close and I'm saying Radio Shade over and over. Radio Shade. Radio Shade. Radio Shade. Radio Shade, 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 Radio Shit. This isn't a decompression chamber more than it is a exhaustion tube. I was really so tired that I couldn't move, and I made a podcast right now. Talking into a mic has helped me stay awake, but now I'm tired again. Whoops. I should have just started talking about bullshit, then got into an excited state, and then used that to work on something. But instead I tried to make a podcast that kept going, and here it is, keeping on going. And now I'm tired again, and I can't do it. Let's see what's going on in the Discord chat. Mage is there talking about Sword Art Online. What are you doing?
You are a badass.
If there's I can't even do a sentence. If there's anything to have been gained from this, it's that you wasted your time. But more importantly, that you wasted it with me. An idiot. I just want to play video games, dude. Just want to play video games.